Hello Floss Tube, my name is Sally and this is Floss Tube number 1, the back to school special edition. I'm also known as Flossie Grows and Sews on Instagram. So welcome to my first Floss Tube. This is going to be a channel predominantly about cross stitch and maybe some other stitching. Maybe I'll show you some quilts. We'll see, and maybe just a little bit of talk to you a little bit about my allotment maybe at the end of each session, just so you can, for those of you who like gardening, who like growing your own food, can share that with me. So a little bit about me. I've been stitching for as long as I can remember. I think I probably learned, well, when I was at primary school age. My mum cross stitched. My mum still cross stitches. My grandmother sewed. So it's always been something that's been in my life. I've always been surrounded by cross stitch, and actually some of the work I have above me today is actually my mum's. Everything of mine I'm going to show you. But you know, my home has got lots of things that my mum stitched for me in the past. And maybe one day I'll do a floss tube to show you all of that as well, because my mum's just brilliant and has done some amazing stuff. So yeah, stitching for years. Some of the things that I kind of initially did a bit of canvas work in my kind of earlier days. This is one of my first framed pictures that I actually have. This was stitched in 1987, so I would have been about 12 or 13 when I did this. So a little dog looking into a window, and I've just ordered the book that this came in. I thought that I still had it and I couldn't find it, and I found a copy on eBay for about £2 and just thought, yeah, I'm going to buy that. 1989. So a little bit older. This is from the same book, and I stitched this for my grandparents, and it was on their wall for a long time. And sadly, when my grandmother passed away, my aunt asked if I would like to have this, so I now have that back. And I did do another canvas embroidery for my grandparents that I did in the days of GCSE textiles. I actually designed it myself, and I'll show you that if I can find it. Not sure where it is. Little foray then kind of in my teenage years into cross stitch. This is my oldest whip, or is it a whip if I'm not working on it anymore? I can't remember the last time I worked on it. It is a Cameo of the Past by Paula Vaughan. Still got it. Still got a lot of the threads in my stash, but probably not quite my thing. So I won't work on that again. So kind of those are my teenage years, and then probably didn't do any stitching for a while. And kind of then in my 20s was living in London, and one of my really good school friends stitched. And she was a quilter and actually taught me how to quilt. I really enjoyed quilting. Really enjoyed putting quilt tops together, or stitching them, doing a plique on them, doing embroidery. So I had a quilt top. Then that's kind of when my interest probably waned a little bit. So I learned how to quilt and did a few kind of things like this. So this is a little mini quilt. So this is the type of thing that I really enjoyed doing when I was doing quilts. So this is a designer called Anni that pattern's from. And that was the thing I really enjoyed about quilting. So I have got quite a few quilt tops with a plique on and embroidery that I haven't actually finished. So they're kind of sitting quietly. I might show you those one day, and maybe this might give me the push to get them done and get them finished. So I also did a bit of cross stitching around that time. Lizzie Kate was quite popular, and I did quite a few. Lots of my friends were getting married and having babies, and so I did a few Lizzie Kates around the time, kind of bless the baby, bless this family, two shall be as one. And sadly, you know, times before digital photographs, I didn't take photos of them before I gifted them. So, you know, I haven't really got records of what I did in those times. But luckily my school friend, who I'm still very, very good friends with, sent me a photo of a Lizzie Kate that I did for her son when he was born, for Edward, and I'll insert this so you can have a look. Yeah, it's quite a long time ago I did that. I think Edward is 15 or 16 now, so really grown up. But you know, his mum still has his cross stitch, which I'm really pleased about. So then, yeah, I then had a baby, and my baby is now in high school. She's 12. And so kind of stitching went off the radar a little bit. When she was about 3, I moved from London and moved back to North Wales, so moved quite close to my mum, and kind of picked stuff up a little bit, started doing a little bit more, and kind of, you know, again, the things that I really enjoyed were the applique embroidery, and had a go at machiner embroidery. So that's just a little picture that I did of machine embroidery and applique, and you know, that's still stuff that I enjoy doing, and still stuff that I really like doing. So then, kind of a year ago, I picked up some cross stitch, and kind of that's started an absolute craze of cross stitch. And you know, wow, I just think the community that is out there now in the cross stitch world with Floss Tube is just incredible. So I've just become a bit of an addict, really. So it's 12 months ago that I started again, and I found Floss Tube. Now, kind of, I think the first couple of Floss Tubers that I found were Cat V Stitches, Catherine. She lives not too far away from me, so northern girl. I find Cat absolutely hilarious, love her stories. Can listen to her when I'm stitching along, and listen to the scrape she gets into in her life, and she's just really down to earth and wonderful, and now has the most cute little dog. So we're not seeing Cat quite as much at the moment, but can't wait to see you on Floss Tube again soon, Cat. The other lady I started watching quite early on was Lynn from Lancashire Stitcher. Again, northern lady who likes walking, and my mum's a big walker, so quite, you know, really enjoy listening to Lynn and her stories of what she's up to. And kind of over Christmas got COVID, and I listened to April, May, June Stitcher from start to her very latest Floss Tube. Really inspirational, just some gorgeous stitching from April, and just really enjoyed that. Stitchy Sally, she's just, well, it's the name, had to listen to you, Sally. And you know, kindred spirits, we don't like snakes. And Sally just, she's stitching some things that I would like to stitch, or has stitched, and just really enjoy listening to Sally. Marie at Diamond Stitches and Diamonds, a relatively new Floss tuber that I started listening to a couple of months ago. Really have enjoyed listening to Marie. And Laura from La La D Stitches, an American, I think she's from Seattle, Laura, and she's only done 2 floss tubes, but she has the most infectious giggle, Laura, and just have really enjoyed listening to her. So kind of just listening and being inspired by these wonderful floss tubers has just given me, just pushed me to get going again. And so I have, with quite a lot of relish. So really just would like to show you some of the things that I have fully finished in the last 12 months. So kind of first stitch that I did, you know, it's kind of August, September that I started last year. So I had to do a Halloween stitch. So I did Halloween Hen from Tiny Modernist. I did this on a 28 count natural white polka dot linen from Zweigart. If you can see just the little polka dots in there, and I finished this on a chopping board. It already had the black bit. I think it's from B&M bargains, and I think they still do them. And then just some little just another button company pumpkins at the top there. So just, I love that. I love stitching it. I had to do a hen stitch. Had to do something with hens in. So we have 4 hens. Little Red, because she's red and she's little. Snow, because she's white. Beyonce, because she has a big bum. She's the biggest one. She's grey and she's beautiful, but she's a bit of a bully. So she's called BB, which is big bully, big bum, or Beyonce. And then we have Ginny, who is a copper black. She's just beautiful. So copper black is black feathers, but they have a shimmer of green in them, and also some of the copper, more traditional red of a chicken. So they're lovely, and I had to do a stitch that incorporated them, because they've become quite important pets in our lives. So I did that with a cord floor floss. Halloween, I then thought, well, what else can I do? And I found the Brenda Gervais Jack Lantern Jubilee booklet, and I just stitched this, not quite the called for colours, but pretty close. And I think it's a 28 count linen. I had it from my mum's stash, and then just finished it off with some fabric I had in my quilting stash. So just loved that. So I was kind of getting on with a bit of Halloweeny stuff. Then Christmas hit. So I wanted something kind of wintry, Christmassy. So I did AuryTM, and this is Quaker cake. And AuryTM has 12 of these. It's just one a month. And this was January, but I thought this was a lovely kind of wintry pattern, and this was stitched on 32 count vintage stone grey. I did it with a called for, apart from I changed it slightly. All the colours, so this should have been a lighter blue, this one should have been that colour blue, this one should have been that colour blue. Oh, change the blues, and rather than have the dark blue on the cake stand, I actually put the green of the little snowman's hat. So just changed the colours slightly because they fitted better on that fabric. But really like it. And I just bought this little clipboard from a local business, Wren's Tail. And it's really good because it's got a magnet on the back, so I could stick it onto something. But actually, I could also swap it out, so I could use that for display purposes for other times. I then found Paula from Puntini and stitched Sweet Holidays. So that I did this on 32 count vintage mocha, and then just finished it with some lovely, I think this is Moda fabric that I had. Now I actually stitched this twice, so I stitched it once for myself, and then I stitched one for a friend. Now this pattern comes with a little candy cane button, and actually my friend has the original button on hers, and then this is a one I bought, which is just another button company one. I think Paula now does spare buttons, which you can buy from her Etsy store, but I already had that one in stock in my stash. Carrying on with a Christmassy theme, then Brenda Gervais, just love her booklets, and I got the Snowball booklet and just went crazy on little little cushions. So these are all from her Snowball range. I love these, and Winter Wonderland as well. So I think there's 6 in the booklet. I've done 4, so I may do the other ones this year maybe. And I backed them all in the same fabric so that they all match. I think that's my little favourite, the little chalet with the candy cane. So I loved doing those. There's some little buttons on some of them. And again, these were 32 count. I think it was the called for fabric, so I think it's a natural Zweigart linen. Then kind of my COVID stitching started. Or actually, I think I might have been doing the Brenda Gervais around that time as well. And kind of had felt a bit rubbish in the run up to Christmas. And then obviously having COVID felt rubbish, but there wasn't really anything to do other than stitch and watch Floss Tube. So I was very grateful. I watched a lot of Mama Loves You GB at that time. Michelle was doing a daily advent, opening her Patchwork Rabbit advent calendar, and so I watched those every day. And actually I also then watched the previous year as well, so I watched 2020 as well as 2021, and every day that Michelle was doing her advent she would show a free pattern you could stitch. So I looked in my stash at what fabric I had and what and who I needed to do presents for still that I hadn't managed to do before Christmas, and did quite a few little stitcheries, little stitches. So that was my first one. So this is Pineberry Lane, and it's Ho Ho Ho, and I just changed the year. I did actually put 2021. I'm not sure that I wanted to remember Christmas 2021 as had COVID. From my partner caught it I think on the 15th of December. I caught it a couple of days later. He was out of isolation on Christmas, the day after Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and me not until I think New Year's Eve. So it was quite miserable, and we spent Christmas in our study, so my little stitching area this end, his area the other end. He sits on laptop doing writing and researching his family tree, and my daughter didn't catch COVID, so she had the rest of the run of the house, and we just stayed up here and did our thing, which was a bit depressing, but got lots of stitching done. So I also stitched Yule from Primitive Hare, that I'll try and insert so that you can see that, and I gave that to my mum for Christmas. And I also stitched Happy Snowman from Shepherd's Bush, and I gave that to one of my good friends just after Christmas. That went on her Christmas tree. So carry on with my finishes. So spring came along, and I'm Welsh. I live in North Wales, so Madame Chantilly came along with spring, and just love this. Absolutely love that. That was stitched, I think, let me just have a look at my notes. Not written it down. 28 count. I think that's natural again. I think I bought a fat quarter of natural linen and stitched lots on it, but that was 28 count. And then it's around that time that kind of the new year that Vinny from Cottage Garden Samplings bought out the new Year in the Woods series, and just thought I think the fox was the first one. It was like, what a beautiful chart. So I looked at the back catalogue to see what else Vinny had done, and I found this fellow. So this is Christmas Eve from Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm trying not to get some glare on it. And so yeah, St. Nick or Father Christmas. Just loved stitching this. I just loved it. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. Loved just all the intricacy of his cloak. That was just gorgeous to stitch. I did this with the called for threads, so including the fancy floss on his cloak. So I think, is it Rose Garden from Gentle Arts and Bayberry from Gentle Arts for the green, so the green and the red, and then the rest are all DMC. But they were so beautiful to stitch, and I just loved doing him. He was just gorgeous to stitch, so really loved that. I stitched him on 32 count mocha. Mocha or light mushroom? Light mushroom. Let me have another look in my little, did I write it down? Yeah, 32 count mushroom stroke light mocha with the called for threads. So once I'd finished stitching him, I then made the jump to, I did do the fox. So not glare on that, I've not got glass on that. But again, just love him. He is so snooty. He's just got that snooty look in his face, and I just love it. So he was stitched on 32 count, and that is vint. I wrote it down. I remembered it, tried to remember it before I did it. He's stitched on the same as the Quint, so vintage stone grey, and did him with all the called for. So I was really lucky. I know burnt orange was a problem to get, and chalk, but I managed to get both of those fancy flosses to do him. So just love stitching him. And again, you know, the detail that Vinny puts in her designs, it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful, and I love stitching that. So those are my finishes for my 12 months of back to cross stitch. I've stitched quite a lot more than that. I've stitched quite a lot more, but I don't want to overwhelm you today and show you too much. I thought I better save something for floss tube number 2. So I've got quite a few finishes that I haven't fully finished yet. So my plan was to try and get some of those finished for my next floss tube, so I can show you those the next time we chat. And maybe some of them will be fully finished by then. I think I'm hoping that now that back to school has happened, so not only my daughter has gone back to school, but my partner is a teacher and he's gone back to school, so it's left me with a bit of quiet time at home, so I can stitch, I can do things, and I've got the space in the room, and I can move his stuff off the other end of the table. He sometimes sits there. He's got this much table and I've got that much table, but he you know, I still have to shove him along, and he doesn't like it when I tell him that I need a bit more room. I think he's got enough. He only needs space for a laptop. Anyway, so it's good when everyone's got back to school, I can stitch and get things done. So next time I have quite a bag of, I have a whole project bag of finished things that need fully finishing. So I will show you those next time, but hopefully some of them will be fully finished. But and I have also got quite a few whips, and I'm not going to show you all of my whips. I'm just going to show you what I've been working on lately, or certainly in the last kind of 3-4 months, because otherwise we'll be here all day, and you know, school finishes at some point, they'll all be home at some point demanding food and energy, and you know, so So I'll just show you some of my more recent whips, the things that I have been working on. So first of all, I think so many of you will recognise this one. This is Stitchy, so Miss Sunflower from Stitchy Princess on Etsy. As a lot of you are aware, Stitchy Princess is in Ukraine, lives in Ukraine, and I think a lot of us bought her patterns around the start of the Ukraine war to support her, and I really liked this pattern, and I didn't have any of the call for threads at all, so everything was stitched from my stash. And the pattern actually comes, I think it's a let me just get something to put on the back of this. It is a little bit better. There we go. So the original called for is a green skirt with, I can't remember, but I decided to change the colours there for the Ukraine flag. So that was my kind of way of supporting Stitchy Princess over there. So she has some beautiful designs, which she's still selling. So go and have a look. What else? So I got this for my birthday last year. So this is, there we go, Love Family Home, it will say. So this is Love Family Home from Little House Needleworks, and it's the logo chart. So this is the logo for Love Family Home, and I loved this. I was so pleased to get one of these, because it comes with all the threads, which are classic Colourworks, but also little needle keep there, or needle thread keeper, sorry, with the house. So love that, absolutely love that. So that I'm doing on 28 count. I think it's antique white, and again started on 28 count, but it's kind of my journey has gone on. I've definitely moved to 32 count. 32 count I think is my favourite, it's my absolute favourite to stitch, but I did decide to try 36 count, and got some 36 count vintage mocha, and thought kind of a bit earlier in the summer I needed to start back on Halloween, and I would stitch some more out of the the Jack Lantern Jubilee book from Brenda Gervais. So I have been, that wasn't very good to show the back of, so let me try on this instead. So we go, there's the little witch from that book. Can't remember her name. Can't remember the name of that one. I'll start on her, and that's 36 count vintage country mocha. She's almost finished. All I need to do is just finish off that bit of cobweb there. That's it. And it's backstitch. It's awkward backstitch. Don't like backstitch. That's all I need to do. So once that's done, I can fully finish that. So I'll get that done. I will get that done for my next floss tube. And there's another one out of the, I think this is the Raven with the pumpkins. So I've done the 3 pumpkins there. So a bit more work needed on that one. But kind of been a bit distracted this summer. This is my final whip to show you. In fact, been very distracted. I'd all kind of year have seen people stitching the Witchy stitcher, the cryptics, and I'll be honest, none of them really sang to me. Wasn't really my thing. Those kind of creatures didn't really appeal to me, but just loved the idea of doing that kind of stitch along. Anyway, it finished, and she released the Supernatural Cell. And I think it was released at the beginning of June. She released the frame, so that was released the 1st of June, and then on the 1st of July started to release the creatures. So I think it was, first of all, there was the siren, and then there was the werewolf. And I kind of had been watching this and watching Instagram people putting them up that they'd started. I was thinking, okay, I like this better. It's kind of a bit more my thing. And I think when the third one was released, which was the Banshee, I waited until the Friday. So the Stitchy Witcher releases a new bit of the Stitch Along every Friday night, where it's kind of 6 o'clock in the UK. She releases it. She's Canadian, so releases it in Canada, I guess, in the morning. She released the Banshee, and I'd said to my other half, if I like the third creature, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to treat myself. And so it was 3 weeks in that I bought this, and so I have spent the summer on catch up with the Supernatural Sal, and I haven't quite caught up. There have been seven creatures released, and we've just had, this is kind of halfway through the second week of 2 weeks off for catch up. So I've nearly caught up, but I've just got the border to go. So this is where I'm at with the Supernatural Sal. So as you can see, I have done probably half of the border, obviously the top, and nearly 7 of the creatures. Now I haven't done the writing yet, so they'll say siren, werewolf, zombie. I haven't done that yet because I hadn't quite decided what colour I was going to do it in. So I have stitched this on, it's 32 count, it's an even weave, and it's called Vampirella from Stitchy Ferret. Now my partner bought me this for Christmas, this piece of fabric. I just said to him, go and have a look at this lady's Instagram or website. Oh, I think, no, Etsy. Stitchy Ferret sells on Etsy. Go and have a look on this Etsy site. I would like linen. I'd like 32 count. You choose. And this is what he chose. And I loved it. I loved it. I am a pink and purple girl. I'm a pink and purple girl. Let me show you all of it. It's quite a big piece. I'm a pink and purple girl. And I'd not stitched on hand-dyed fabric before. I'd only stitched on the Vintage Country, so Vintage Country Mocha, Vintage Country Grey. So I'd only stitched on those before, and so I really wanted to stitch on something on a hand-dyed fabric. And he bought me this, and I loved it, but I didn't have a clue what I was going to stitch on it. I thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so when the Witchy Stitcher released the Supernatural and I was watching and seeing, I just thought, yeah, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect for this. And it's all I've really wanted to stitch on all summer. I've wanted to catch up. I've wanted to be where I should be on it, and I've just loved it. And I've changed the colours on a few bits. So I think the siren, I can't remember what colour her tail was, but I've changed that. Just a few changes to make things fit better. So quite a few of the threads are called for, but then I've also a lot have come from stash, and I'm really lucky with my stash because my mum kind of gives me colours that she doesn't want anymore or she's used, and so yeah, I've got quite a good stash. I just love kind of change the colours of the little bats, and I was working on those last night. So they're in, I think, Midnight from I don't think it's a Classic Colour Works. They're downstairs, we can't check. And then Cinders. So there's two. I just love those, variegated. So the bats are all slightly different colours, but just love it. So I'm pretty much, all my creatures are pretty much there. I'm not too far off with them. So I'll just keep on stitching this week on the border to try and get more of the border done. And then on Friday, there'll be creature number 8 released. So, you know, I should be pretty much there, but as you can see, this has really kept me busy over the summer. I've loved stitching it, and also we've been away quite a lot camping, and I think you know, haven't really been able to stitch much when camping at all. I think I got my stitching out once actually. I did some of the Stitchy Princess Miss Sunflower, because that was quite 28 count without a light. It's okay to do on a sunny day, but yeah, so this has really been my kind of summer project, and I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Absolutely loved it, and kind of on track with it. But yeah, really enjoyed it. So kind of I have had a start the last couple of weeks, and I can't show it to you, I'm afraid. That's it. That's the wrong way as well. I have shared a little. I've shared the fabric and the colours on Instagram, but it is for a gift for a very dear friend of mine who possibly won't watch the Floss Tube, but she will see my Instagram. So I didn't want to share it because I wanted to be a surprise. So that's a bit of secret stitching, and I'm also doing another little bit of secret stitching that I can't share with you, and that is, I think, something I bought from Cloud's factory, and when it's done I will share it. But yeah, somebody on Instagram had done it, and I can't remember her name, and I saw it and just thought, I have to do it for my daughter. So yeah, so that's another secret one. So lots going on. I have had some haul as well. Now I think I had a few things from Patchwork Rabbit. So cottage garden samplings. Again, this is Marie from Stitches and Diamonds. She's encouraged me with this. So this is the Songbirds Garden series, and I just love this forever and ever. Just love it. I've got a couple of friends that are getting married next year. Haven't been to a wedding for a couple of years now, and then I've got 2 in 1 year. So I'm really tempted. I might stitch that for one of the couples that are getting married. So I got that. I also got Blackbird from Blackbird Designs. So this is number 3 in the Magical Mystery Tour series. So this is the Beatles designs by Barb Adams, that kind of her celebration of the Beatles. I have already got the Long and Winding Road, which I'm thinking I'm going to do as a birthday start. My birthday's the end of September, but I really liked Blackbird and thought I might do that for my partner for his birthday. He's a massive Beatles fan, so I just thought I've got to stitch those. So I also got lovely crinkling, some sparklies, 36 count gingerbread. This is just gorgeous. I love this. Sorry, crinkling. Just love that. I don't know if you can see. It's quite kind of pinky coloured. And called for threads for Long and Winding Road. So I think possibly I will do that as a birthday start at the end of September. But I think, let me just have a quick look at my notes. I think that's everything that I was going to talk to you about on my first Floss Tube. I don't think it's quite the normal schedule of how you do Floss Tube. I'm not sure. I've watched lots of first Floss Tubes and they're all slightly different, and this is my way, and I just wanted to share with you what I've been up to. I hope I'll come back to you in the next maybe 2 weeks. Maybe I'll do every 2 weeks to come and talk to you. But I've really enjoyed it. All summer I've been thinking I'm going to do a Floss Tube. And back to school, first day of freedom. Just perfect. Just a perfect day for it. So thank you thank you for, if you're still here, if you're still listening, thank you for joining me. Just, you know, for those of you, those who I've mentioned, thank you for sharing your journeys. I really enjoy listening to you, and I hope that some of you out there enjoy listening to me as much as I enjoy listening to other floss tubers. Come back and listen again. Subscribe, please subscribe, that would be amazing, because then you will get notified if I post another floss tube. So please subscribe, that would be great. Any kind of questions or comments on, or anything you want to ask or talk about, hey, I'm here. It's great to make some new friends. I feel like I know lots of you really well because I see your stitching, I hear about your lives, and yeah, you haven't got a clue who I am, or anything about me. So maybe, you know, it's great to feel that connection with people, and you know, it's just such a lovely community. Yeah, so I'm going to stop waffling. School bus daughter will be on the school bus now on her way home, and she's just going to be full of excitement of the first day. I already know, she sent me some messages today of what a great day, what a great first day back she's having. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But thank you for listening, and see you next time. Happy stitching, take care, and see you soon. Bye bye.